Today, we're going to talk about a topic that I find super interesting. Have you ever wondered why the Buddha, before achieving enlightenment, was sometimes a king and sometimes a slave? These two identities are so extremely different. What kind of master plan lies behind these seemingly erratic transformations? Today, let's have a good discussion about this. By the way, today's content is provided by the Australia Buddhist Conduct Association. Alright, let's look directly at this. Isn't this contrast exaggerated? Some disciples, while reading the scriptures, discovered that the Buddha's journey of cultivation was far more than just the image of a renunciant we usually think of. Look on the left. He was a Chakravartin, a wheel-turning holy king, who commanded the world, the very pinnacle of power. But look on the right. He was a slave, holding the lowest social status. Just think about it. These two identities, which are worlds apart, were both experienced by the very same bodhisattva. It's truly hard to imagine, isn't it? The core question, why extreme experiences? This brings us to our most central question. Why? Why would a bodhisattva, who is pursuing the highest wisdom, choose to experience such, extreme lives? Actually, behind this is a very grand plan. It's a strategy for saving sentient beings, full of compassion and wisdom. Okay, before we unlock this mystery, we need to first look at just how impressive the Buddha's resume truly is. The range of his incarnations, frankly, might be far beyond our imagination. The scriptures say that the Buddha essentially worked in every single profession: the scholar, farmer, artisan, and merchant classes. Look, he has been a farmer, a potter, a captain leading fleets of ships, a highly skilled artisan, not to mention a merchant, a king, and a minister. He's been them all. And here's the key point. He didn't just go for a casual tryout. He truly delved into every profession, not just to experience the hardships, but to become the most cutting-edge, most brilliant expert in that field. So, you see, this is very interesting. The Buddha's motivation for doing all this was definitely not random. It wasn't about, I feel like trying this today. No. There is a very core principle behind this. We can call it a strategy of extreme compassion. This key concept is called tongshi, which means working together or sharing the same task, experience. First, let me clarify. Tongshi here is not the word for colleague, as in someone you work with at an office. It is a method of cultivation. In plain language, it means if you want to genuinely help a group of people, you cannot stand outside and just talk to them at one web. You must truly walk into their world, do the same work, live the same life, and completely become one of them, becoming the person they trust the most. This plan actually has 4 steps. It's truly a process requiring super patience. Step 1. First, you transform to look exactly like them. Step 2. Crucial. You must strive to become the top expert in that field, earning genuine admiration from everyone. Step 3. During this process, you slowly, little by little, establish a deep sense of trust. Step 4. Only when the time is right can you truly guide them toward the path of liberation. Okay, this plan sounds perfect, right? But how is it achieved specifically? The absolute key to this is just 2 words: trust. Establishing absolute trust. To win this trust, the method the Buddha used was truly hardcore. He pursued a state called all knowledge savinad. What does this mean? It means that no matter what he did, whether he was a doctor, an engineer, or an artist, he had to be the best, the number one in that field. He wasn't acting, he genuinely became the founding master of that profession. Think about it. What does this professional excellence, accumulated over countless lifetimes of rebirth, plant in the hearts of sentient beings? It plants a kind of deeply rooted faith and an almost instinctive sense of refuge. It's like an ancient habit that ensures that in some future life, as soon as they see this bodhisattva, they will feel a subconscious urge. I can trust this person. You see, this lays the most critical foundation for future liberation. Now that we understand the tongshi strategy, we can clarify a very common misconception. Many people feel that cultivation must involve becoming a monk or a nun. The answer might be different from what you think. The key lies here. Different paths of cultivation require different equipment. If your goal is self-liberation, first the so-called Ravaka path, then yes, the pure identity of a renunciant is more suitable. However, if you are walking the Bodhisattva path, which is centered on compassion and benefiting others, then your spiritual practice ground Dharma field is this busy world. Why? Because by incarnating as a king, a minister, or a farmer, you can truly reach and help the largest number of people. So, have you realized it? Whether it was being a lofty king or the humblest slave. And no matter which path of cultivation was chosen, the thread running through everything is just one word: compassion, brahmā-vihāra. That deepest, most profound heart desire to help all beings escape suffering, that is the true driving force behind it all. Well, after discussing all this, you might be thinking, the Buddha spent so much time and effort building this trust with us, what was it all for? What is the ultimate goal of this super long-term plan? The answer is, he worked so hard to cultivate a very special group of disciples, called disciples of inherited Dharma. Who are they? Simply put, they are those who, across many past lives, have formed a deep connection with one of the Buddha's incarnations and trust him from the bottom of their hearts. These people are like the seeds of the future guaranteed to be saved left behind by the Buddha. This is the ultimate promise. All the accumulated trust acts like a guarantee ticket. This ticket ensures that these disciples, even if they didn't achieve liberation in the era of Shakyamuni Buddha, will certainly do so in the era of the next Buddha, Maitreya Bodhisattva. At the 3 assemblies under the dragon flower tree Longhua and Hiwi, they will personally see the Buddha, hear the Dharma, and will certainly achieve liberation. This is a super, spatial, temporal guarantee. By that time, because their inner faith and sense of refuge would have been cultivated to the maximum, as soon as they hear the Dharma, they will immediately understand it and grasp its essence. They will quickly eradicate all afflictions and achieve liberation. So you see, all the preceding groundwork was laid entirely for that single moment. So, of all we've discussed today, what I find most moving is this: true enlightenment doesn't require us to escape the world. Quite the opposite, it requires us to most actively walk into the world. The Buddha, through his actions, shows us that the true place of spiritual practice is actually among the people. This leaves us with a great question for reflection. In our own lives, in our families, jobs, and among our friends, how can we practice this spirit of Tongshi? How can we truly understand, accompany, and bring warmth to the people around us?